malleable. Peter Thiel, who, I guess if this guy became a Supreme Court justice, it wouldn't matter.
Just be forewarned that you're playing with, well, let's just not say fire. How about your whole studio?
This guy, exactly, I know. So this guy is, I don't know, at different times he's supposedly advised Donald Trump. He is financing, God knows what he's financing out there. We talk about alt-right guys. We talk about alt-light guys. I would find it hard to believe that there's not a lot of Peter Thiel money teeming through a lot of the YouTube channels that you see out there. But the man is a titan of industry. And obviously, this is America. You don't get there unless you deserve it. And here is him being asked by Maria Bartiromo a question about what do you like from a policy standpoint about Donald Trump? And here it is, Peter Thiel.
How's he doing now, Peter? Let's talk about policies that you'd like to see coming out of this White House and the policies that we've already seen.
Well, it's I think there are all sorts. It's very hard to get things to work in this country. There are a lot of the political governing institutions are simply not nearly working as well as they used to. The one thing that I liked about Trump and still very much like about him is a willingness to ask questions, to reframe the debate, and not to be sort of confined by these narrow politically correct strictures. I've often said that our greatest political problem is the problem of political correctness, and I think there are any of a number of issues.
Pause it for 1 second. Imagine how remote you are from the deprivation of millions upon millions of people. Imagine how distant the idea of racial or sexual discrimination. Imagine how completely out of touch you have to be to think that the greatest political problem we have is political correctness.
Well, I also liked Matt's little throw off camera, which is like commitment to a stratified, wealth-based society, frustration with things not getting done in a democracy. What sort of politics might he be?
Right.
Like a strong desire to ask questions about religious and ethnic minorities. Like, where are we going here?
Right. Well, let's let him continue.
The greatest political problem is the problem of political correctness. And I think there are any of a number of issues where it is good to rethink things. The very big tax reform that was pushed through at the end of last year, I think, is a very good thing. And it reflects that we're living in a very different world where we have to ask very hard questions about how do you get American companies to compete globally. The last big tax reform was in 1986. Before that, where you sort of had, you sort of simplified and had, sort of uniform taxes. And that made sense in a non-globalized world, which was still much less globalized in 1986. And then by 2017, our tax code was set up in such a way that American businesses were seriously disadvantaged. And
Pause it. I'm just curious, what is the metric of American companies being seriously disadvantaged? I mean, you have our American corporations with literally trillions of dollars in cash. What is the disadvantage here? What
he's going to get to it. I think he's saying we haven't
manifest?
Eliminated the minimum wage as an example.
Right. I mean, how does that manifest itself like a disadvantage? Is he just saying that executives and
last week I was dining in China and my counterpart
it gets even
said
worse.
that he could eat a child for their blood in public and I have to do that in private, putting me at a significant disadvantage because of political correctness. I hate you.
American businesses were seriously disadvantaged, and this was an incredibly healthy reset. And so I think there are any of a number of topics where it's very good to be asking these questions. And then it's been obviously there are all sorts of things that are somewhat disappointing, and at the same time, I don't know how much one can expect. So that's. I think I still think it's better than the alternatives by far.
Mm-hmm. Hillary Clinton.
Yes, or Bernie Sanders.
Or Bernie Sanders.
There you go. You love it. I love that look from Maria Bartiromo, where she's like, I don't know how to make it seem like I could follow what you were saying. So I'm going to just gasp and hope that you say something that I can actually understand. And then I got it, or I figured out that you were saying you just didn't like Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders.
I like how political correctness it's now politically correct to say I don't think that major companies should have huge tax cuts.
Yeah, finally.
Hey, corporations are people. They are a marginalized class. Also, I like how he thinks it's a policy to be on PC.
Right.
It's actually just Trump spouting off whatever nonsense enters his head at any given
I'm
point
like
in time.
Socrates. I'm asking questions here.
I'm an instigator of insight.